Welcome back to the channel. We have the White Serpent Ming Jian sword from LK Chen. This thing is gorgeous. Amazing craftsmanship from LK Chen. This one is going to come in the folded steel. It's absolutely beautiful. It's very agile in the hand. LK Chen has some of my favorite Jians that they make. They're very, very high quality. The cutting power of them is very, very powerful as well. Very agile in the hand. Take a look at some specs on this one, up close looks in the scabbard, out of the scabbard, and of course some cut testing. Let's get to it. We have 38 and 5/16 of an overall length, 29 and 1/4 inches of this double-edged folded steel blade. This has a diamond cross section running through the entire blade. Not really much different than a lot of other Jians. It's balanced very, very well. It's at a 5-inch point of balance, which I'll show you a little bit later in the review. Aesthetically, it's beautiful. It's got dragons all over it, so of course I'm gonna like it. I grew up watching Mortal Kombat and things like that, but this is definitely not a movie prop. This is a high quality work of art, and it's also functional. This one is forged with 1060 high carbon steel and also T9 high carbon steel. The weight on this one is 1 pound, 15.8 ounces, with the point of balance being a little bit higher up on the blade, and this being not a super heavy blade, not a super long blade rather. This is a little bit shorter than the Snow Peak Jian that I was speaking of before, the LK Chen Snow Peak Jian. It's very agile in the hand. The agility of this one is excellent for cutting and for thrusting and being able to actually draw the blade back out. Sure, you also have larger manipulations with larger cuts, but this one is more of an elegant sword that is also very functional. Point of balance on this one is 5 inches from the guard. So when you're slashing with it, when I did the upward slashes on this one, well, let's actually back up really quick. The edge is sharp. It's a functionally sharp edge. I wouldn't expect anything less from LK Chen. It cut beautifully through the tatami. Sometimes if you have something that isn't as well crafted, it may pull through on that, but this was exceptional on the cutting, just like the other Jian that I've cut with before. I really like the handle. We have a hardwood handle here. The cross guard, which we're going to get a lot of close looks at, but the cross guard has a dragon on it, which is awesome. You actually also have, I mentioned this in the Snow Peak review as well, sometimes you will see this used in a saber grip, and having the forefinger and thumb extended in this fashion, actually it sits perfectly into there. So you don't have to choke down on a saber grip to this position. It actually rests the forefinger right in, and then the thumb is right there. That way you have precision on the tip of the weapon when you're working through forms and working through other martial arts forms and things like that, or if you're just moving around with it with other martial arts training that you have. Let's quickly talk about the handle here. This is a polished wood handle with brass fittings. So it does belly out toward the middle of your grip. It tapers off into the brass ferrule, and you also have room toward the back. It's a really, really well-crafted handle. The wood part alone is 4 inches, so specifically the wood that's polished here, and then the brass on the actual handle itself. You also have a wrist wrap here for retention if you did want to have that for larger slashes and things like that, if you're holding it in this fashion, or if you're holding it in a hammer grip as well. This cord is the perfect length because when I was cutting with it, I used the cord, it did not hit me in the face. So these are not done with like putting excess cord on there. It is the proper length of cord, so you don't have to worry about that. It also fits very well with having this more of yellowish gold to match the brass. I'm sure that was intentional because quality-wise, everything is intentional with LK Chen. The blade width is 34.6 millimeters. We have that folded steel of 1060 and T9. You're going to see the almond, specifically they call it an almond tip. So it's not a spear tip, but that's the first time I've actually heard a sword described as an almond tip, but it actually makes a lot of sense, especially for a Jian. The pommel is pinned, and it has this very elaborate pommel. Get an up-close look at that. You'll also see the dragon. We have really good lighting right now, so I want to take advantage of it so you can see how awesome this thing is. And you see how the forefinger and the thumb just drop into that grip? It's just a really sweet blade. Let's take a moment and take a look at the scabbard. We have a scabbard that is all brass detailing, a wood cord scabbard with ivory-hue damask. So you can see there is that more of silk over here. This is all coated as well to keep, if you have fingerprints or somebody wants to pick it up and check it out and they don't ruin it. I love the amount of dragons that are on here. So obviously this being a serpent Jian, that's pretty appropriate. I just want you to appreciate how awesome this is up close. Get a quick pan of it again. We've also got another dragon down here. This one is pinned in place, so if you did want to display this or if you did want to hang this or some sort, you have it here. It's pinned in place. There's 3 pins running up the scabbard. It's a little bit more humid here today, so you're going to get a little bit more of a pull. But on the sliding out of it, it's very, very smooth. I don't see you scratching this thing up at all. They usually line these. And this one actually isn't lined, it's just done really well. So it's not lined, it is a wood scabbard that is very, very well done in the craftsmanship. Sliding this back in. Locks right into place. Let's get a little bit more up close looks, like really in there, so you can see the beautiful craftsmanship of this, and then we'll look at the cut testing. Let's get to it. The brass fittings. Then we have the 1060 and T9 folded steel. It looks more like water ripples, so I'll pick it up to get the glare away from it. Speaking briefly about the cut testing, this performed very well, having a higher up point of balance and a really, really great edge on this. I didn't expect anything less. Even for a, quite frankly, a more skinny blade like a Jian, it cut very well, especially for the upward cuts. I did some downward reverse slashes as well, and it comes around on the cuts perfectly. You barely even feel the cut at all. From the point of balance, really, and then also a great edge on it, it's basically going to cut through it like butter. So we soaked the tatami mats overnight, as we always do. Let's take a look at the cutting performance for this Serpent Jian. All right, so there you have it for the White Serpent Ming Jian from LK Chen. Another quick pan of this absolutely beautiful blade. Symbol of, this is more of a self-defense and a weapon and also a sign of nobility. And you can see why for how heavily decorated this is. Excellent craftsmanship from LK Chen. We have a Twin Peaks dowel. It's a two-handed dowel. I've never seen anything like this before. The design is like a one of one. It's like a 1,000-year-old design from what the research that LK Chen has done. That is up on the website. That'll also be on the channel on a review with cut testing as well. If you want to see more from LK Chen, let us know in the comments below. As always, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and we'll see you in the next one.